Hey everybody, Bookman here, and I am going to show you how to fill a Wing Sung 699 fountain pen from a bottle. It turns out that bottled ink is all you can use with this pen because it's got a plunger fill mechanism, and it stores the ink on board inside this inside the barrel. If you look closely, you can see that there's residual ink in there because I did a test run and I just didn't feel like cleaning the pen and starting from scratch. So there's a little bit of ink in there. But at any rate, let me start at the very beginning. This is a twist. This is a screw cap, and it takes about 4 or 5 twists to open the pen up. When you close the pen, close it tight, but not too tight. You don't want to over tighten it, but you do want it to be tight enough that you're keeping out air so that it doesn't dry, the nib and feed don't dry out overnight. All right. The filling mechanism here is the plunger, and you activate the plunger by unscrewing this knob counterclockwise, lefty loosey, righty tighty. And when you get to the point where the knob feels loose, it's ready to pull back the plunger. I won't do it because I don't want to shoot ink around this table. I just finished cleaning it because I've already done that. But at any rate, let's go to the ink fill. Now, I'm going to open this bottle of ink. This is Visconti Blue. And before you do anything, after you get that cap off, I want you to wipe off the mouth of the bottle, because you can avoid a lot of grief if you wipe that mouth off, because that's the best way to avoid getting ink on your fingers when you're filling your pen. And of course, I don't have to worry about getting ink on my fingers because I'm gloved up. But I do that for 2 reasons. One, I'm OCD and I can't help myself. And 2, I'm Bookman and I make all of my videos with gloves on. And if I didn't have my gloves on, you wouldn't recognize me. So, let's fill this pen. Once you get the plunger knob loose, stick the pen in and completely submerge the nib and the feed in the ink. If you touch the bottom of the bottle with the nib and the feed, lift it up just slightly so that, and hold on to it tightly with the top of the bottle. Hold on to that tightly and secure it so that when you push down on the plunger, you don't push the pen down and ruin the nib and the feed. So just hang on tightly. Once you've gotten it in there, the nib and the feed submerged, you pull the plunger back up. And you fill the inside of the chamber full of air. Now, when you press down, it gets near the bottom and whoosh, that the plunger loses its resistance to the barrel and allows ink to shoot past it and into the barrel. And then the plunger at the bottom stops the ink from going out. Now, because there's also air in there along with ink, the best way to get rid of that air and to make room for more ink is to repeat the process. So pull the plunger all the way up to the top, push it down, and then do it one more time. All right, that's as good a fill as we're going to get. It's about 3/4 full. I'm good with that. That's about the best I can do anyway, under the best of circumstances. Now, the first thing I'm going to do, you can do this in any particular order, these 2 jobs here, but the first thing I'm going to do is wipe the pen off at the grip. You don't want to get the paper towel in the feed because then you'll suck off too much ink. But clean that grip off, and then set the pen down for a second. And then take the cap of the ink bottle and put it back on the bottle, because this is a stupid place to have a spill like this. It's easily avoidable. Just put the cap back on and put the bottle aside where you're done with that. Now, after you've wiped the grip off, wipe the nib off to make it pretty, and then in a controlled way, take some of the ink out of the feed. You don't want to just shove the paper towel in there, but you do want to use the paper towel to get some of the ink off. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is that when you put the cap back on and you set the pen aside, if you haven't siphoned off a little bit of that ink, it's liable to get into the cap. And then when you uncap the pen to use it, that ink is going to go everywhere, because you're going to post the cap on the back of the pen, and then ink's going to get on this part of the pen, and then when you put it in your pocket, you get that ink in your pocket, you get it on your hands, get it everywhere. So make sure you siphon off a little bit of ink before you put the pen away. Before you get too far into the recapping process, you want to tighten down the knob. Don't forget to do that. Make sure it's nice and tight, and then cap the pen, and you're done. The Wing Sung $6.99, and that's it for today. Bookman over and out.